Great. Oh, very good evening to everyone tuned in today. I am Tarini, your host for today's panel, and I am a third year student at MIT pursuing my B.Tech in cyber physical systems. I'm so glad that all of you have joined us today. In our panel today, we have a bunch of people across different, batches of study in Manipal. Let's start off with the senior most, Nihal. He is a batch of 2022 B.Tech in Mechatronics student. So Nihal is probably the oldest of all of us, and you might have known him through different circles as well. After that, we have myself and Sai Adithya. So Sai Adithya is a batch of 2026 Mechatronics B.Tech engineer. And we have Vatsal, who is a batch of 2027 VLSI B.Tech engineer. And then there's me, which I've already introduced myself. So, hi, I'm Tarini, and you're on my channel. We are so excited to do this. And yeah, we have a bunch of questions from all the forms and everything that everybody's filled out. So, we can't wait to get started and start answering them. Before I do that, each of you all want to give like a small introduction about yourself? Let's start off with top to bottom. So, Nihal.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Nihal. I was a B.Tech 2022 Mechatronics graduate. I am currently an MS student, as you can see, at WPI, working in the soft robotics lab, researching prosthetics. I have most of you know me from all the 4 5 groups that I have been in for quite a long time. But to give a general gist of my time in Manipal, I was part of Mars Rover Manipal in the research subsystem. I was there in IE Mechatronics, ISA Manipal, and IEEE RES Manipal, and I've also been a very active part of the mechatronics department, as most of the faculty can definitely attest to. So I am also, I mean, most of you probably know me as that Master Uwe guy who likes to post 30-minute voice notes on the WhatsApp group chat. But yeah, I am basically your life advice guy and someone who can give you opinions and advice as someone who has gone through the process before and as someone who is a graduate. So I can tell you about life after your BTech. So nice to meet you. Let's have a great session together.
Yep, thank you, Nihal. Let's go to Sai Aditya. You can introduce yourself.
Yeah. So hi guys, I'm Sai. I'm a 2026 batch of 26 BTech mechatronics students currently pursuing my third year in Manipal. You guys will probably see me a lot around campus. So I'm actually the team manager of Moto Manipal. Me and my friend were the people who started it. We are the youngest team in MIT who make EV bikes, and then we are the youngest team who actually also launched an EV bike. And you'll probably see me out in a lot of clubs, mainly Research Society Manipal, RedX, IEMECX. So there are quite a few clubs active around the campus. So I'm pretty sure you'll see me in the inauguration video of MIT, and most probably meet me in SP, I guess.
Awesome. Let's go to Vatsal.
Hello guys, I'm Vatsal. I'm batch of 27. I'm pursuing my B.Tech in electronics VLSI design. Currently, I'm working in robotics and circuit student project. And I just completed my first year. I was here where you are just a year ago, and I'm sure you'll see me in campus. I'll be taking interviews of you guys. So, okay, nice to meet you.
Awesome. I think that was a very nice range of people that we got together today. I'll introduce myself. So, hi, I'm Tarini, and I'm a third year student at MIT pursuing my BTech in CPS, which is Cyber Physical Systems. I am also the founder and president of Kalakriya Manipal, which is MIT's first and only exclusive Indian classical art forms club. So if you're an Indian classical artist, please do check it out and register for it ASAP because we're starting recruitment soon. But yeah, apart from that, I've also been a part of a lot of student projects and clubs all through my time in Manipal so far. I've been a part of Formula Manipal, where I served as a senior driverless engineer, where we were working towards building a Formula student driverless car. I'm also the music head in Mafia, which is another cultural club of Manipal dedicated to music and fine arts. Apart from that, I do indulge in a lot of other things. I love coding. I love just science stuff that an average engineer would do. I also love entrepreneurship, so I do have a few of my ventures, and I also love podcasting, so you can see a bunch of stuff about that all across my channel as well. But yeah, it's so nice to have you all today. We're slowly starting to getting the crowd, so it's amazing. Yeah, let's start off with the questions that we have in the forms. So for context, we spread out a form all across the aspirant groups for people who had questions about life in Manipal and stuff like that. So our panel here is here to discuss it all. Yeah, let's get started. We'll take the first question. Um, okay, so how can we take direct admission in Manipal is the first question. I'll just post every question from the form in the chat and we can address it. So yeah, we'll start off with that. Vatsal, would you like to take that?
Yes, okay. So there's only one way for direct admission in Manipal, and that's through the NRI category. There's no management quota as such in Manipal. You can either take admission through NRI quota or through the DASA quota. DASA is through JEE mains. DASA is also for NRI people, but in DASA the NRI people can't take admission through NRI quota.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just me.
No, he's
Oh yeah, quick bit about the internet in Manipal. it is, it leaves a lot to be desired, but it works when it works. So I mean, you can play
Mm,
Valorant on, that's fine. So if that, I mean, for those that want to game and stuff. So
barely. I mean, barely.
library has good internet. Pro
yeah.
tip.
Yeah, it obviously does.
Okay, he's
So I mean, I
gone.
guess we can pick up
Yeah,
on what he stopped on. So there's
yeah,
mainly two ways how you can take on direct admission in Manipal. One is doing the NRI quota. See, it's not called management quota, but it's on the lines of it where you pay a premium, but you also need to be an NRI citizen, as far as I know that. And then there's the DASA quota where Vatsal was talking about, where you can take an admission through the JE mains percentile.
yep.
So
And the
yeah, I
rest
guess
of it
that,
is,
yeah,
yeah,
please go ahead.
exactly. As Aditya said, it's that, and the rest of it is the normal entrance exam that you write, which is MET. So yeah, that is it for that question. Um, okay, Vatsal is gone, so I will skip a few questions. I will go to how are the branches cyber physical systems and mechatronics, because that's something we can all address. And it is a very common question that I've gotten. So we'll start off with mechatronics and then we'll go to CPS. Yeah. So you both can start off with talking about mechatronics.
I mean, I
Sai, you
guess
can
we
go
can
first.
start.
I mean, I have
Okay,
a
I
tendency to
guess.
yap a bit, so it's better if you talk about it first, and
Yeah.
then I'll cover stuff that's left.
So mainly, I guess the views of mechatronics from my side and Nihal's side will be quite different. Because when I came into Manipal, right, in 2022, Nihal just graduated, and our whole course structure got redone from the suggestions of Nihal's batch. So the course is totally different to what I've done from theirs. The thing is, the rudimentary fundamentals are the same, but the way of teaching, the subjects have been totally rearranged. So one thing I can tell is, people who join mechatronics are really passionate about what the whole course. Most of the people who join are really passionate. The course is really hectic. It'll eat you up. Sometimes you feel like, what are we doing, why are we doing this? But at the end, when you actually do projects in your lab, or when you actually put your subject into application, right, you'll actually feel, oh yeah, this is what we've done, and yeah, this is helping us here. So it actually helps you out a lot. Let's say you're in student projects, let's say you're in clubs, various groups around Manipal. Your subject is going to help a lot on that perspective as well, because I actually told you that I'm the team manager of Moto Manipal, right? In my first year, I didn't have any prior experience with any SP. I straight up went and restarted the whole SP, which was shut down. So I didn't know what to do in my first year. I was doing things, yeah, we were learning slowly, but the graph of learning and implementing things once we reached the second year was exponentially shot up, because we didn't have to learn separately and implement it in our student project. we were learning in the class, implementing it directly in the student project. So that will help you a lot. So yeah, you have to listen to classes. Mechatronics is one hard field, but yeah, it has scope all around the world. It's an upcoming field. It's people might think it's sketchy. That's what I thought in the start, but then once you go deeper into it, look at the course plan, you will understand it properly, and it'll actually make sense. It's more on the hardware side rather than the coding side, I would say. Yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay. So to add on to what sites are talking about, the main competency that mechatronics engineers have is not so we suffer from what's called the jack of all trades problem, where we know a bit of everything, but we aren't necessarily trained towards mastery in a specific discipline. However, I feel what makes us special in mechatronics engineers is this ability to work across fields, because the way I like to say it, it's not specificity, it's connections. Because as a mechatronics engineer that has worked in cross disciplinary teams both at work in the industry and here in academia, I can definitely attest to the fact that you have at least base knowledge of other domains, which helps you not only contextualize what you are talking about with your other colleagues, but also understand what they are trying to tell you, which is something that I have seen more specialized engineering domains, like typical mech, typical triple E, typical civil, typical CS struggle with. So I can't talk about let's say dimensional accuracy of a design with a CS engineer or electrical engineer, but I can do that with a mech engineer. I can talk about PCBs and electromagnetic compatibility with the electrical engineer. I can talk about basic algorithmic complexity with the CS engineer. So for me, that, I mean, considering that's a field that I like to work in, that is what works best to my strengths. Some people who want to specialize in the field might find it difficult to do so from the curriculum itself. So you will have to carve that path out yourself, seek out the resources and the mentoring that you need to specialize in a specific field. But yes, by way of curriculum, mechatronics gives you the base where you can specialize in anything essentially.
Right. Um, I think I'll take over the CPS part. So, I mean, it's essentially what they've all said, right? Jack of all trades kind of subject, but ours is not as hardware focused. It's rather software come, uh, software come electronics focused. So that is how I would describe CPS in a bit. But at the same time, I think it is not a core subject, but there are few things that are specific to CPS when it comes to like building a cyber physical system. Like there are a few things that are particularly only CPS oriented. Like let's say you want to build a driverless car, only a CPS person would be, I mean, ideally a CPS person would be able to do the entire system, configuration on their own. Like they would be able to configure the entire flow on their own, like at least to a base level. And then the next level, you get the core engineers. So that is what I would describe CPS as. So yeah, when it comes to the jack of all trades part, I would think I would agree with a lot of it. When it comes to placement, because I think a lot of questions are in that, we will discuss that later. But I will say that MIT has not, MIT's first CPS batch, which I belong to, has not come to the placement stage yet. We're still getting into our third year. But when it comes to internships, we have, I will talk about that later as well. But yeah, we have internships that come under ML and all of that as well, that are also considered to be allied to the subject. So yeah, we will talk about that later. I just wanted to give a brief intro into that side of things before we get to the next topic. Yeah. Okay, so this question has been asked, and I think Vatsal should answer it. So, courses or basics we should cover before joining Manipal, and how do we prepare for the lifestyle over there in general?
Okay,
And
so
all of
like
us can answer it,
there's
but
not,
you can start. Yeah.
yeah, I mean there's not any particular prerequisite that you need to know before coming here, but like basic 12th math like integration and differentiation that we study in 11th and 12th, you need to know that because you will study it in engineering mathematics. The teachers teach that again, but it's better if you know that by like already. And apart from that, there's nothing much. It's the first, if you're in physics cycle, then you will have subjects like physics, basic electronics and all that. So electronics, it's all new, it's semiconductor and all that. And physics also, it's mostly that you've studied in 12th. So if your basics of 12th are clear, then you're good. And as for the life in Manipal, you don't need to prepare anything. You just come here, everything will go on its flow.
Yeah, agreed. Also, one more thing, like Manipal is a very, like you have a wide spectrum of people from different backgrounds and everything. So if you have a cultural shock, which you might have, it is normal, and you should just know that, through time you will just become accustomed to it. And that's one thing. I think if you want to prepare yourself for one thing, it's just to gear yourself up for a slightly open mind, because you will surely meet people from all different backgrounds. I think all of you can attest to that. But
Yes, a
yeah,
lot of people were saying that we are introverts. Like all of us were introverts at some time, but once you come to college, then you
yeah,
you will open up eventually. That's definitely.
One thing that's totally unexpected in Manipal is actually the weather. It's the most
Uh,
most unpredictable thing. It can be sunny for a minute, and the next minute it can rain, it can hail, there can be a storm. You never know. So that is one thing you guys have to gear up to the weather. And this is like, it might sound funny, but it actually happens to be a serious problem if you're actually really sensitive to the weather. So I have a couple of friends who just are sick a lot of time because of the weather. So try to brace yourselves for that also, because that is a really really big thing. The weather is very very unpredictable in Manipal. It's humid, it's hot. So yeah, and also be ready to walk a lot, because your hostel is in one end and your classes are on the other end. When you have friends, you don't tend to actually see how long you're walking. You're just having a fun chat and then you're just going. So yeah, that's also happens.
yeah. So somebody's asked this question in the form: does it get really hot and humid? Yes, it does. And is AC hostel required for someone who falls sick when it gets too hot? Yes, it is.
So
So
I'll add to this question and the previous one. So I would say that there are three main requirements that you need before coming to Manipal. The first is, I would say, a technical or academic requirement, which is, first of all, get your boards level math physics done, because regardless of whether you've done JE or not, you are moving from an objective exam system to, again, an explanatory system where you have to like write down the steps and stuff. So if you're used to the quick JE stuff, that won't work in a college exam. That, and also there are a lot of stuff you that from the JE can help you course through the first year, but then the second year onwards you will be learning stuff that is totally unrelated to whatever you've been done doing so far. So, JE proficiency does not necessarily translate into success into college. It's one disclaimer. So definitely get your basic maths and physics proper before you come here. Second would be more of a physical requirement. Like Sai mentioned, you'd be having a lot of cardio essentially, because you have to walk everywhere, you have the weather, all that stuff. So pack light when you come, honestly, because everything can be bought here. Just get clothes and essential electronics. You will, if you want to exercise a bit before coming here, then very well you can. I definitely did not exercise. I suffered a lot in the first semester because I am generally a very low energy person. So it was quite a teething period for me. The third is more important, and it's a mental requirement, because this, for most people, at least for me, this is the first time that you'll be away from your family as a truly autonomous person. You'll be dealing with homesickness, you'll be dealing with new environments. If you are naturally introverted or do not have social skills, you will find it difficult to acclimatize to certain situations where you have to put yourself out there. So it is also definitely something that can be learned and trained. I can definitely attest to that, because I was a textbook introvert when I came to college. Like, I did not talk to anyone, and here you see me, basically yapping everywhere. So it is definitely a skill that can be learned and something that you can change. But these are the three things that I would say you should keep in mind when not just coming to Manipal specifically, but also like in whenever you are going to some place new. Be it here, Manipal, could be someplace else, could be after your graduation when you go maybe another college or workplace. So
Also, if you are from like mechanical mechatronics, electrical electronics, and you want to join any SPs or clubs, so have the basics of physics, like basic of mechanics, how forces work, and in electronics, how semiconductors work, how electricity works, diodes, resistors, all that. Because these are the common things that they ask in the interview. So it's better if you know that, because I mean, you have to know that if you want to clear the interview.
It's
Yeah,
like you need
exactly.
to have common knowledge before you enter, because when you do get into an SP, like there's going to be something called as a task phase where they teach you all the required skills that you need, or actually a club also for matter, they teach you what you actually need to do in the club. So without that common ground between you and them, because see, I don't know you, you don't know me, so we both need to have a common ground to discuss upon and build upon, right? So that's why we need to have a common ground, have the basic fundamental knowledge built up properly, so that we can go on and take it to next height, higher levels, so that you guys can understand properly. We can help you out, and we can make something better together.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think a bunch of you have interest in specific student projects or specific clubs. You can ask those questions here as well, because I think most of us are in some student, all of us are in one student project, have been in one student project. So we'll be able to answer that. When it comes to student projects and like technical clubs, I'll start off with SPs. So I've been in an SP for 2 years now. I left it recently for focusing on a startup. But what I can say is that if you are somebody who can dedicate the time, then you have to go for it, because you have to spend most SPs, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong, but most SPs do have a time dedication of at least 3 hours per day. So every day you have to spend 3 hours in the place, and sometimes on Sundays you might have to spend more depending on the club and student projects in particularly I'm speaking about. So the student project that I was in required me to do that. So you have to be ready to undergo that sacrifice for building whatever you want to do. And that is one thing. And when you want to enter into these clubs, like Vatsal and Aditya mentioned, have your basic technical knowledge thorough. So, for example, in FM driverless, which I was a part of, I used to take interviews, and what we focused on was coding. And when we talk about coding, especially for a first year student, people who have not gotten into their I think chemistry cycle is coding, right? PSUC. Vatsal, yeah. So if you haven't gotten into that stage yet, it is still beneficial for you to brush up on basic coding, because what you're going to do in the SP all day long or all the time you're there is exactly that. So for my student project, my division, which is driverless, we had to code all the time. So if you're not thorough with your basics, and especially for a lot of technical student projects, you're also tested on your mental ability. Uh, when it comes to even technical clubs like ACM or IEEE, your mental ability, your like just things that test your IQ. So if you want to brush up on those type of things, also it will really help. But again, that's once you enter the college. But before college, like Vatsal and all mentioned, just be thoroughly brushed up with your 10th and 12th related stuff.
I would also add that, right, okay. Let me, now that we are talking about student projects, please do not compare student projects. You can't compare student projects. I am sick of hearing, is Manas better than FM, or is FM better than MRM, or is this, it does not work that way, by guy, no. Because each student project works on a different product. Product being car. If it's Formula Manipal, it's an F1 car. If it is TMR, it is off-road buggy. For MRM, it's rovers. For Manas, it's robots. So you can't compare them, because they work at different scales as per the requirements of the competition that they're applying to. But regardless of what they are working on, the I would say that the level of technical time and effort that you need to invest is the same. If not, it can change depending on the scale of the project, because the bigger projects like FF and TMR definitely take a lot of time, because I mean, you have to build a car in a year, obviously. The smaller the SPs that work on smaller products like say Manipal or Manas, for them they may not have as much of a big time sink, but then they have the same level of intellectual requirement throughout. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Technical
is
clubs also, if
absolutely
you'd like
correct.
to
Yeah.
add on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The difference between a student project and a technical club is, a technical club is basically a community group focused around a specific topic that you can basically network within. A student project is basically, it's like basically special forces. Like you are one track minded towards a competition, or like I want to make a thing. So uh, clubs, so I would suggest it is good to, if you want to really broaden your technical skill set, you can join a student project and one club. So that will give you the, social aspect also of, how to network with like-minded individuals within a club. If it's one of the engineering chapters, like, IE, IEEE, uh, the ACMs, etc., then very good. And the SPs will help you grind the technical skill set. So yeah. And also, if you want to explore other stuff, there's cultural clubs as well. I liked music, but I didn't really join any cultural clubs, partly because I didn't have any time in the day. But I do know other student project colleagues that were in, like, I think, Chords and Co and Goons and stuff. So
Yeah, when it comes to cultural clubs, so I think I can help you all with that because I've been an active member of cultural activities in Manipal. And that's one thing I will tell you. An amazing thing about Manipal is that it's quite unlike quite many other engineering colleges when it comes to the cultural, uh, the kind of inventive and creativeness that people have. So I know people, I myself came out with my first like record single when I came to Manipal. And that's the kind of community you have. So my classmate just reached up to me and told me, hey, I know you're a singer and stuff. He saw my stuff and he said, why not we produce something? And we just went and produced something. So that is the kind of people that you find in Manipal outside of just the student academics focus. So I would say if you're a singer, if you're a dancer, or any like type of artist, do not shy away from reaching out to people and joining these clubs because they will be so beneficial for you. I know a few seniors of mine who are like literally full-time singers now. I am not even kidding you. And that's something a lot of people dream to do, but they do not do it because they don't have resources. And I'm not saying go for it entirely, but I am saying that you have the opportunity, and if you want to go for it full on, do go for it because Manipal is one of the best places to do it. So I know a full-time DJ, I know those sort of people in Manipal. So that's great as well. But of course, academics is something that most people focus on, myself included. So if you want to do your academics along with your cultural activities or your music or dance, you can do it and you can do it extremely well. So that's what I would suggest for any upcoming singers, dancers, whatever here. But yeah, and also I started a club called Kalakri, I mentioned. So if you are a classical musician or artist, that's a place you have to go. And when it comes to chords and chords, got more like I mean, Western music. So people sort of like that. And there's Mafia, which is like general music. And there is other clubs like Showstoppers and Blitzkrieg, which are dance specific. So Blitzkrieg is hip hop specific, and Showstoppers involves a little bit of a mix of hip hop and bhangra and stuff. So there are huge opportunities for cultural affidavits. So for those of you who are interested in that side of things, do not shy away and just go for the recruitments. You will have a time of your life and you will grow so much in these experiences. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. Any of you all want to
That
share, you can
is
go ahead.
correct. I just wanted to add some things to what Tarini said. So one main thing that comes with all of this is something called as distraction, right? So that's a really big thing. You guys have to watch out for it. This is not something that I'm joking about. It's something real. It see they're all called student clubs, student projects, and student cultural clubs because you're first a student and then the club or the project comes. So you need to manage your academics first and then look after that. But one thing I would say is academically they help a lot. You need to basically like try to give in time equally to everything. And also, let's say you're in clubs, events you go to, let's say you're in student projects, competitions you go to, they help you network a lot. They help you network a lot. Like let's say for your jobs or for your masters, whatever you require for, they give you connections in the industry that will help you out a lot later. Let's say this year I've gone to a competition and I meet some executive from Amaron batteries, and next year I'm facing an issue with my battery, so I can contact the person and then I can get my problem solved. So that is a lot help. That's a thing that helps a lot. And mainly student projects, clubs, and everything, they help you on a point that's called as research, which is very very huge. After you come into your engineering, you have a lot of money that you can spend wisely. onto research again, that helps you a lot. I guess Nihal bhai can explain more about research because he was on the research subsystem in MRM, and so if you can take that on.
Okay, yeah. So, the like so I mentioned, the main bottleneck is time management, because you have 24 hours in a day. You obviously have to sleep, eat, study for your classes, and do all this stuff. It is definitely possible to manage all this and still score good, because from personal experience, there have been branch toppers who have also been in MRM with me. I personally was around an 8, 7.5 to 8%. Maybe I would have scored much more if I did not join in SP, but I knew the trade off, so I was happy with it. Some people like to prioritize their academics more, and so they don't prefer SP, so that's up to them. So it's up to you whether, one, you can manage the time, and two, if you cannot manage the time, is the trade off worth it for you? Now, that is something that I can't tell you. That's something you have to figure out for yourself, the trade off in this. Two, like he also mentioned, the connection aspect, and since someone also mentioned the chat, exposure. So peer groups and exposure to all these things are very important, because there's only so much the classroom can teach you, and there's only so much the textbook can teach you. Little things like, let's say as a mechanical engineer, you learn about geometric dimensioning and tolerance, design stuff. You won't really understand what that means when you have to fit a bolt in a hole, and just a little jiggle in that thing can make or break the whole design of a vehicle, which is a real thing that happens in the automobile industry, vibration and all that. So you things like that help you really understand why the things that you're studying are needed for you as an engineer. And especially for research, when this practical experience helps you understand things that you need, or rather the connections that you get in the industry help you understand what you can research. So in the research subsystem, most of our work was more so pushing the boundaries of what we could do with the existing tech that we had on the rover, and then taking it ahead. So for example, I was heading the mechanical and robotics research subsystem within the subsystem team, and our main goal was essentially trying to explore different robotic mechanisms, different ways of modeling the robotic arm that we put atop our rover, to make the process better, to make the whole thing more streamlined. So even within, so this is more, I would say, industrial R&D, but then also it gives you an edge in academic research in case you want to work with professors, because you have that background, so they don't have to worry about you not having any technical background. You just need the research skill to match, that's all. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I also agree to that. Like in a student project, you have early exposure to all the things that you'll be learning within your classroom. So when you go to your classroom with the knowledge that you have from your student project, your concepts also get much clearer, and you're just in general able to catch up with things much better. So that also helps you in any research endeavors you want to pursue with your professors. Right? You can go and talk to them that, sir, I've worked in this field, through so and so student project, especially if you're not pursuing a student project actively, and they would ideally want to take you in, considering the fact that, or given the fact that you are, you have the skill set for whatever you want to pursue. But yeah. uh, okay, this question is being asked a lot in the chat as well about EC. uh, so I just wanted to address that because it's a very common question that we've been getting. So this is taken into consideration the kind of feedback I've gotten from my EC friends before this live as well. So basically, EC is not an easy subject. It's not an easy course. It is difficult to keep up with the course if you're not interested, but it's not impossible. Surely you can do it if you put in the time and efforts, but it is very tough. So as a gist, EC and Triple E are known to be very, very tough subjects. So yeah, that is something you would want to consider if you want to take up this subject or this course. Faculty wise, what we've been told is that a lot of them are really good and they know what they're doing. They're very good at explaining concepts and their subject. But of course, there are a few exceptions here and there who may not be able to deliver it as well, but they are very good in terms of their knowledge. So this is the general EC consensus for those of you that want to join EC. But if you're really that interested in CSE, because I think this person was very interested in CSE, So the full question mentioned that he's interested in CSE. Should I still take it up? So if you're really interested in CSE and you don't have a scope of getting it at this point, what would be suggested is for you to try hard on getting your CGPA up in your first 2 years if you want to do branch, sliding up. But again, that's very hard. So you would have to consider all of that in mind. But yeah.
Hmm. Even with future
About
prospects, oh yeah, sorry, go on.
Okay. About faculty, all of them are skilled. They know what they're teaching, but some of them can deliver it, and for the others, you have to get the information out of them. Each one of them knows what they're teaching. They're all skilled professionals. And as for how hard is it, if your interest lies there, you can surely do it. Like I have known seniors who work in SPs and clubs, and one of the senior he has 9.8 CGPA in EC. So it's not that hard to do it. If your interest is there, you can surely do it. I mean, there's one exception, but I mean, I'm just giving an example.
But yeah, an
I
outline would be, I guess, that uh, no branch is hard or easy. It all at the end comes into how much time and effort you're putting into. That's it. Let's say I'm in CSE right now. I'm a mechatronics student. I could be in CSE putting in the same effort, getting in the same grades, even if I don't like it. I like mechatronics a lot, so I tend to put a more effort into it. Yeah, that is obviously there. But if you put effort into it, you'll obviously get the results out. Your grades will obviously be good.
9.8 CGPA. I don't think I even had that much attendance in class, but but I mean, there are some people that are built different. But what the two of them mentioned is essentially the same, because it I see people say branch upgrade. It's not branch upgrade. It's branch change. You can't. There's no inherent. I mean, okay, this is probably an Indian thing that we like to rank branches and stuff, but being an electrical engineer does not make you lesser than a mechanical engineer, or being a mechanical engineer does not make you lesser or superior to a civil engineer, because all of you all are working on totally different fields on totally different problems, so it doesn't make sense to compare them. And also, even if you want to, or even if you don't get CS, fortunately tech as an industry is fairly branch agnostic, in the sense that you don't necessarily need a CS degree to enter the field, as long as you do those industry certifications and stuff. So aside from me suggesting you to try maybe applying for CS specifically in another campus, if not another college, let's say you still want the main Manipal campus and you get EC, you can still prep for CS stuff as well. Just keep in mind that you will have to juggle this alongside your typical EC academic responsibilities. People do it and have done it, but keep that in mind.
If you're preparing for CS in EC, just keep in mind that you have to have a good CGPA. Because if a company is recruiting from EC for a CS role, then they require a good GPA. So that's there.
Yeah.
That is all.
There was there was another question which asked if how many how much percentage of EC students can go for placements. I think it's like most of the EC people that do get placement opportunities. So it's not.
The thing is,
Um,
having a CGPA of 7.5 and above is something good. You might land a decent job. So I guess try not to go below 7.5. Anything below 7.5 means you're in danger. So try to put it above 7.5. That's
yeah,
all I would say.
No matter what, do not go below 7.5, honestly,
Yeah.
because if you're going below 7.5, then bro, you have some life decisions to think about, honestly. I
yeah,
would suggest try for 8 and above 8. If you can get more CGPA, then good. If not, it's okay. But like 7.5 to 8 is like the you should think about what you're doing kind of zone. And most companies have like 7 CGPA criteria. So
Hmm.
but they do conduct, the first filtering is basically kind of a CGPA shortlist, because if so many people apply to a particular job position, then the company can just say, okay, we just want everyone over 8 CGPA. And they can do that. They are in full right to do that. That is how the industry works, and after all. So keep your CGPA at least above an 8. If you get 9, then very good, good for you, more part to you, but keep it above 8.
yep.
It is actually
Okay.
advised.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was telling, yeah, so a lot of companies these days, there are very less roles, I would say, that are available. But MIT being such a big institution, we have a lot of companies coming in, so there's a lot of placement opportunities for us. But again, in because of there's a lot of placement opportunities and all, there's a lot of bifurcation happening also, as Vatsal mentioned before, that if you are in an EC branch but you want a CS role and you want a good company, that's a lot of constraints you put on yourself, and all of these constraints can be fulfilled by having a good CGPA. Yeah.
Yep. The next question is about CPS or VLSI. How difficult is it according to you? So I can speak about my 2 years of experience, which basically only 1 year I've done CPS. First year is a common course for everyone. CPS is so it's as of what I would say as of my understanding so far, it's like 65% electronics and 35% CS. That's what I would put it as. Now CS and CPS have a lot of course in common, like their course outcomes, their course subject itself, a lot is in common. But the thing that differentiates our branch from like CS is the kind of electronic heavy subjects that we have. So we have subjects like AEC, which we share with EC, which is analog electronic circuits, and we have pure digital transmission or analog communication type of things, which are not conventional CS related things. But at the same time, you have stuff like computer architecture and all, which is shared by most courses. Along with that, we also have DSA, which is data structures and algorithms, which you would expect like a conventional computer science background student to learn. So you have that whole vibrant set of things to choose from when it comes to CPS. You learn from when it comes to CPS. So yeah, when it comes to the course, that is a similarity with respect to CSC and EC. uh, VLSI, I don't know if Vatsal will be able to answer that much because he hasn't gotten into the branch yet. But if you want to share some input, you can. We'll address the next three,
Yes,
four
so
questions that
there
we have.
are a lot of questions about VLSI. First of all, it's not like an specialization of EC. It's a specialization of electronics, but not EC. See, EC is more about the communication part. Like electronics is there, but the communication part, like all the network and communication protocols, all that. VLSI is more focused on hardware design, like all the processor, chip design, and graphic card design. So that is what VLSI mainly is. And as for the future, someone asked how is like the future in VLSI. So I mean, India is, of course, they're putting a lot of money in semiconductor industry, and there are being fabrication plants then being put up. So by the time we graduate, batch of 27, there will be a lot of opportunities. Right now, most of the opportunities are for master students. So for sure, in the next 2 to 3 years, there will be a lot more opportunities for B.Tech guys also. And as such, you can't compare EC and VLSI because those are connected but not like, there are two different fields, let's say. And apart from that, I have not started my second year, so I cannot tell about the core VLSI subjects. But yeah, it's not as hard as Triple E. That's one thing I can tell for sure because the course is very new. B.Tech in VLSI started this year only, so the course isn't developed that much. Like Triple E course is vast, and EC course is also a little bit vast. But VLSI is a new course, so it's not that much hectic from what I've read in the course outcome. And I have sent the links for both EC and VLSI. You can compare both the course structures given in the YouTube link.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, we'll address the next few questions in the same guy's question, which was how much semiconductor stuff versus programming it involves. This is for CPS. So semiconductor stuff in the sense so VLSI we have next sem, but so far we had programming in terms of DSA. We had assembly language programming, which is basically microcontrollers programming. You also have embedded C and stuff. So that is the stuff that usually comes under programming. You also, of course, when it comes to DSA, you have Python and uh, other languages C that you usually code in when it comes to CPS. Semiconductor stuff, we had a subject called AEC, which was 4 credits, and that was a very important subject for us. Coming in the future as well, we have a bunch of pure electronic stuff that involve semiconductor related things. So we started off with MOSFETs and stuff. So if that's what you're talking about, yes, we do have like an introduction to it, at least in the second year. Further on, we will have more of it. I'm assuming we do have a lot of electronics oriented content, and we also have a lot of design oriented content, like designing a system, like not literal design, but designing a system. So that type of thing we have. Did your batch get any good internship opportunities? Yes, because a lot of it was, we approached people on our own, and even our own faculty has research internships or research opportunities that they provide to us. So a lot of people approach faculty, and our faculty is actually has a very good research lab and stuff. So for my part, I would definitely say that CPS faculty, which is under the Department of Instrumentation and Control, there are great opportunities when it comes to in campus. Out of campus, of course, you will have to scout for people on your own. But I do know of people who've gotten into the core CPS subject with internships on their own. So yeah, you could definitely try out for it. And there's also a shout out I want to give to organizations like ISEC, which provide these opportunities abroad for those of you that want to travel abroad and do these internships. I have friends who've gone abroad doing these internships. So yeah, that is something I wanted to put out. Yeah, that's all. If you all want to share this with respect to your branch also, you can go ahead. So did your batch get good internship opportunities? Maybe Sai Adithya, you can take this.
Yeah, so coming to internships in the mechatronics field, so firstly, might sound harsh, but the field of mechatronics is really skim in India as such. But the thing is, we have a lot of great professors who have great connections and are working on great projects themselves. So the thing is, as Tarini mentioned, professors are the key for internship opportunities, I would say. You go to a professor, explain them, tell them what skills you have. They will obviously guide you. They will tell you what you can do. The HODs, everyone in the branch are really really helpful for the internship opportunities. Other than that, you have things like LinkedIn, Internshala, where you can apply for internships online. So the thing is, there's a lot of MIT alumnus sitting out there who have their own companies or working for high end companies. So you can connect with them, or you can go to your branch, ask a list of your seniors who've passed out. They will give you the list, obviously, and they will connect you with them. You can get connected with the seniors, get your placements done like that. So see, right now I am working in an internship, and I actually got my internship in that kind of way. Also, I am working in a company called IntelliBrew, which makes automated coffee machines, and this actually was set up by an MIT alumnus, so based out of Bangalore. So that's actually very very useful. Networking is the key for internships, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, to add a more general commentary on the niche field situation in India, uh, Indian companies specifically are not really aware, or they probably are waiting for more institutes to offer said courses. But I can definitely say, affirm that the like see the global arm. Let's say if we talk about automobile companies or automation companies, they not only are aware of fields like CPS, mechatronics, and such, but they are actively looking for such people. Like over here in the states, I can pull up LinkedIn right now and find a number of openings of mechatronics engineers full time. Similarly, in Germany, like person I know told me that like even in India, um, the company was Rolls Royce, I believe. So they were actively waiting for mechatronics engineers, but they couldn't find mechatronics engineers because people weren't necessarily trained in that. So there is definitely you could say need for it. Now, awareness is a different matter that will grow with time. When I joined mechatronics in 2018, I had to first of all convince my parents that this is a field that exists and that is something that I can do. But as I went through the years, and especially after COVID, I could see a very high spike in the need for robotics engineers and in stuff. So definitely there's a lot of scope. And don't yes please do not take a branch based on prospects that you see now, because 4 years can will be 4 years. Like it's a long time, things can change,
Yeah.
as we saw during COVID. Like a lot can change in a year. So take pick do your due diligence and research the branch that you want to take, and commit to that decision and make the best of it. In 4 years you'll get something, don't worry about it, honestly.
Yeah, agreed. We'll go to the next question, which is, according to you, what electronics and CS related topics can I do before the semester begins? I'll start off and then you all can take turns. So, when it comes to my subject, which is CPS or even like EIE, which basically come under the same department, even CS actually, generally you would ideally want to be at least, you should ideally be familiar with one coding language at least, and usually most people go for Python. That would really really help you in skyrocketing your prospects for throughout your college, because your club interviews or your student project interviews, like I mentioned before, if you're already in the know of a certain language or a certain uh, language, it will really help you, especially in like software related clubs or opportunities that you have. So I already knew Python, and I'd already done a few projects back in 11th and 12th. I'd done NAP and stuff, so that really helped me in any club that I went to. The second I showed them my app, they were already convinced, and I didn't have to do anything. So I got into a few clubs also through showing this and through the all conventional interview process as well. So that would benefit you all if you want to start learning any coding language. Python is the most common. I did that. That's up to you. Yeah, rest you can take up.
Okay, oh actually, yeah, Vatsal Sai, you guys can continue first and I'll finish off. अच्छा ठीक है तो electronics wise definitely your basic circuit theory and stuff, whatever you learn, if you've taken the subject then good, if not then you can read up on that. Basic electronics and basic electrical theory, these are the two subjects that basically you know kill a lot of people essentially in college. Like the first year it'll be an absolute bloodbath, the number of people who fail these two electrical subjects, so definitely brush up on those. For CS, definitely Python is a good language to learn. Personally I feel that if you really want to get into computer science, there are four languages that you should learn in order of appearance. First is, I say C, but I say learn C just to understand the core fundamentals of how a computer actually works, because Python tends to abstract a bit and people tend to do only Python without delving deeper, so which is why I tell them to do C first. C, then Java, so that you learn object oriented principles, then Python, so that you understand how these two languages are being abstracted when you take over Python. And then you have this thing called domain specific language, which is essentially depending on the field you want to work in. If it's web dev, it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript. If it's backend stuff, it's SQL, MongoDB, etc. If it is game dev, it's C sharp. So depending on the language or the domain, you'll have specific languages catering to said domain. But the fundamentals don't change, which is why C, Java, Python, and C++ if you wish. So like these, the principles that these four languages cover basically cover the whole gamut of computer languages. So definitely, yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
my case would be something similar to Tarini, I guess, but I was not a coding oriented person. I'm more of an electronics or mechanical guy. So I had done projects using IoT, Arduinos, and then your ESP controllers and everything. So this actually helped me out in a lot of interview process. So I was kind of sneaky with my stuff. So what I did tell them was, I was like, I didn't do anything, but then when they did ask me the questions, I was going to answer them quickly than other people. So there was some sneaky moves I pulled in. Even though I did my projects, I didn't tell them until I got in. After I got in, usually मैं तो ये करके बैठा था आपको बताया नहीं.
Good
So
one.
that's something I did. Yeah. So yeah, it's obviously better to do something. Yeah, so something, if you have a prerequisite before coming to college, but that does not mean that if you don't have anything you're gonna fall short behind. So I did have a friend, his name is Anirudh. He didn't even know what coding was before coming to Manipal. He came to Manipal and then he learned coding in Manipal, and then right now he's won hackathons. He's gone to the US for a competition representing his student project. They won a couple of awards there, and then he programmed an autonomous bot. So the thing is, sky's the limit, guys. Honestly, after coming to college, there's nothing stopping you other than yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't even know, like I didn't know things like this existed before I even came to college. All I knew before I came to college was I want to build a robot. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just wanted to build something. So definitely make use of the 4 years that you have in college because these will be very, very important.
Yep. Uh, okay, this question is pretty common in the chat, so we'll address that. What is physics cycle and what is chemistry cycle? Vatsal, this is entirely to
I
you.
guess
So
Vatsal
go ahead.
should lead.
Speak.
So the whole first year is divided into two parts. Half the students are they're divided. Half students are in physics cycle, half are in chem cycle. So like one whole branch will go into one cycle. Let's say CSE, core CSE. Core CSE students will be in physics cycle. This year they were in physics cycle. Then let's say EC is in chem cycle. So that way the whole batch is divided into two parts according to their branches. Then, as for the course physics cycle, they have subjects related to physics. Like I list all the subjects. They are physics, basic electronics, mechanics of solids, basic mechanical engineering, and mathematics. So all the subjects that revolve around physics, those are in physics cycle. Then the labs. There's one is physics lab, and one is workshop practice. Workshop is like every week you have a 2.5 hour workshop where they teach you stuff about electrical, mechanical, and civil. There are three types of workshop over the span of the whole semester. Then, when we come to chemistry cycle, the subjects are like not exactly related to chemistry, but they have just named it chemistry cycle. The subjects are chemistry, biology, EVS. Like these are the chemistry part of chemistry cycle. Then there's basic electrical technology, mathematics, and engineering graphics again. Engineering graphics is in both the semesters. And you have chemistry lab. Oh, I forgot the C part, the problem solving using computers. That is also in chemistry cycle. So the coding part comes in chemistry cycle. So yeah, and there's a generalization that chemistry cycle is harder than physics cycle. It is. So yes, if you are in physics cycle first semester, please try to score as much as you can, because the hostels that you get in second year are based on your GPA of first semester, not first year. So try to get as much GPA as you can in the first semester.
If you get chemistry cycle, rest in peace.
Yeah, still get at least get 7.5 or 8 if you need a good hostel.
Yeah.
The main reason why people say chemistry cycle is difficult is one. Wait, is BT,
Yeah, BET. Yeah.
It
uh,
is in cycle.
and bio. I mean, for me, my weak point was chemistry, so for me it was BT and chemistry. But for most people, it was BT and biology. And for
Yeah.
those that don't have a computing background, PSUC. So yeah, you
The
basically
thing
get
about
all of two left and
chemistry
right.
cycle is that there's a lot of information that you need to remember
Yeah.
Ha,
in
yeah, very
every
mugging up
second.
cycle.
Bio,
I
A
agree.
bio.
lot of mugging up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Bio
was the
and
main
chem.
thing.
that is
Yeah.
very sad.
Bio and chem had way too much.
Yeah.
And
You
then
would,
you have the
yeah.
totally opposite subject as BT, where you have to apply your
Yeah.
knowledge in 11th and 12th. So it takes wild turns. And
Yeah.
one thing I actually like about physics and chemistry cycle that I don't see in other colleges, that you, let's say you're in CS, your classmates with aeronautical, other CS branches, a lot of different branches. So you mingle with a lot of branch people, not only your specific branch. See, so I am a mechatronics student, but I have friends in Triple E, ENI, CPS. You name the course, I might know someone. That is only because my class had a lot of people that were shuffled in the first year. So that is a very good thing. Again, a very good thing for your networking part. For any point of view, it's a making friends. That's really amazing what Manipal does over there.
Yeah, completely agreed. Let's move on to the next question now, which is about the startup culture at MIT. So this is a question somebody in the forums has asked. Uh, you want to have a startup, and is there support in MIT of any kind? And how are people inclined on the topic? So I think MIT startup culture is one of the best in private colleges. You have BITS, and then you have MIT. So I would say it's definitely like top tier. So you have great support system. You have an incubation cell, an incubation center. You have inside MIT, you have an entrepreneurship e-cell, which is essentially a club, and they hold the Manipal Entrepreneurship Summit every year. So it lasts for like a few days, over 3-4 days, the span of those days. This year we had Aman Gupta over to our college, so it was nice. I mean, it's always a very nice experience for the common public and for people who want to have a startup. you have these options, and you also have an additional place called Mutbi, which is for Mahe. So if I'm not wrong. But yeah, when it comes to startups, you have great environment. So you can just reach out to the head of innovation cell and whatever idea you have and all of that, and you can actually get through with building your startup from top to end completely with the right support. And I think Aditya, you can also add on to this.
We should have had KP on here.
Yeah. Ha, you would have explained it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, startup culture in Manipal is pretty wild. I would say there's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of ideas that, lot of pretty ideas have out of the box that I have seen. They're very supportive. The head of the incubation center, who you reach out to usually, his name is Dr. Mohammed
Zubair
Zubair.
sir.
Really, really kind man. He'll listen to you. The thing is, they're very, very open with you. They don't.
Yeah,
They come to straight. They straight come to the point with you. If it works, they'll tell you if it works. But if it does not work, they'll actually tell. They won't be like, "Hi, it won't work." They'll actually give you suggestions on what it can improve, how it can improve. Or let's say you're focusing on one point, but then they feel that in the market this actually won't work out, but the product will work, focusing on a different point. They'll suggest you on that also, because they're really qualified people. They have seen the market, they've worked in the market. So yeah, that's a really good opportunity in Manipal.
yeah,
That people frequently hiring for their startups, that people frequently starting their startups, so there's a lot going on.
yeah. And also, like, when it comes to these entrepreneurship summits and all of that, people who really want to just participate in the events. So we have these big events like Pitch Tank and all, which is essentially Shark Tank. But you have actual real investors. Like this time we had 1000x VC CEO coming in, and he actually funded. This time he funded Baylink as well. So Baylink is a part of 1000x VC's cohort, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so you have these great people, actually genuine real big investors coming in and funding your startup ideas. So if you have an idea, you can even just go to these MES sort of summits and pitch it in with your team, with the proper team and whatever that you have, and you'll actually pull through with, who knows, you might actually end up getting great funding. So that's actually happened to so many people. We have like Funding, which is Arushi Gandhi. She's 2 years older to me. So her company is great. She's also in the she's an Antler. I think she's an Antlers VC right now, residential VC. So she started her journey as well in MIT. And then you have a lot of KP as well, like Nihal mentioned. He has his own startup. So yeah, there's amazing stuff you can do, and there's awesome support. So it's a great place to start your venture in that side. Anyone wants to add, you can add.
So yeah, for startups, MES is one big thing. MES is essentially like a 3 day event where a lot of VCs, a lot of big people show up onto the campus. There's a lot of events going on. Meanwhile, there's a lot of stalls where startups
Startups.
put out their ideas, and it's not like only VCs can fund them. Let's say I also, like, I want to fund something, or I want to join them, right?
Yeah.
I can also be a part of that. I can ask them, because this MES, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of new companies. There's around 200 stalls, as far as I remember, companies from lot of various places that come to MIT to put up their stall. And mainly, you might feel it surprising, a lot of professors also have their own startups while they're teaching. It
Yeah.
might sound amusing, but yeah, they do, and a lot of them are actually really successful.
Yeah. I think a few successful. Yeah, sorry, I
Oh no,
broke you off.
yeah. So I actually forgot to mention. I forgot about this, but Manipal has this alumni portal thing that us
Yeah,
alumni can access. I mean, not a lot goes on in there, but one thing that's important to mention with respect to startups is that a lot of alumni also have early stage
funding.
startups, and we actually get email circulars saying this alumnus or this person is looking for funding for an early stage startup. So
Yeah,
please look at their idea and fund it. So like we get these, even alumni can fund
yeah,
startup ideas
startups,
because would be innovation center, these guys
research,
send
innovation.
emails to us all. So we have that
Yeah,
internal network as well.
correct. And I think you all can check out some of MIT alumni startups, recent startups. I'm talking about student startups. So you have Bugbase, which is very famous. You have Fractal. again very famous. We have funding again. Arushi shifted to something else, but these are
Yeah.
some very famous ones that you
I
can
mean,
check out.
Karthik's Uppies
Oh
is
yeah,
also there.
Uppies. Yeah, we have
Please, yeah.
Uppies. So you can
Yeah.
check out all of these. I'm also building something. Bhagwan bhala kare, sab kuch acha hoga.
More part you.
But
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, there is a lot of opportunities. So yeah. Okay. You all want to take a question from the chat? In the meantime, we'll try to find something from the
Yeah,
forms.
I
sure.
found one. I mean, from the form actually. I mean,
Yeah.
more research intensive actually. This person is really interested in autonomous vehicles. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, and they also mentioned Formula Manipal, so you could talk about FM
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
I'll talk about it as well.
So
So I'll get that.
definitely, autonomous vehicles is a very big field of research in MIT from mechatronics perspective as well as also from a more CS,
CPS
yeah, CPS perspective, because like a lot of mechatronics and CPS is very directly applicable to the automobile industry. You know, electrical vehicles, your systems that go in your cars and stuff. That's all mechatronics and CPS. Project Manas definitely does autonomous vehicles. Like one of their flagship projects is that little Mahindra car thing that
Yeah,
they
mind driving
do
car.
self-driving stuff on. Formula Manipal has Formula Driverless, which Tarni you can elaborate on, and a lot of faculty also conduct
does.
research on autonomous vehicles. I don't remember if it's self-driving specifically, but
Okay.
they do
We have,
conduct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So IC department, which is my department, they are like they've already, rolled out like forms for people who want to be part of the autonomous project. So we have a professor working on autonomous vehicles for from our department. So yeah, professors are definitely working on it. Still in the working stage, but sure. When it comes to autonomous vehicles, you were asking about autonomous car at Formula. So yeah, I was in FM for the longest of times, and they are actively building a Formula student driverless car. So in case you do join Manipal and you want to audition or you know get recruited to this, I would suggest you actively brush up on your coding skills, your logical skills, your IQ, and all of that. And it's always best if you have past experience in this. So if even if you worked with, let's say, Slam or I don't know, like path planning or anything of that sort, because I know first years who've actually done that sort of stuff, then I would literally suggest you to go to FM or Manas because trust me, you're putting your skills to great use when you're actually building a formula car, a driverless formula car. So yeah, and one more thing, FM's driverless car, I think it'll be one of the first Formula student driverless cars in India. So that is something that you'd want to bank in on if you're really interested in. So go for it if you feel like you have the skill set.
Hmm. Oh yeah, cars reminds me. Even Solo Mobile has the
Yeah,
distinction of
solar,
being the first student-made
solar,
electric vehicle.
student made electric vehicle or solar vehicle, solar electric vehicle.
Uh, I student made because I remember them competing at this one competition where there were other Indian companies with their cars, but
Hmm.
they were the first student made one. This was back
Student
in
made solar electric vehicle or electric vehicle?
solar. Sorry, my
Solar,
bad.
yeah, yeah,
A solar.
yeah.
2016 or 17, if I remember. So
Yeah, yeah, correct. Even solar mobile. So all the student projects are genuinely top notch if you all want to get into it. But yeah, and one more thing is there a lot of research going on in autonomous vehicles at MIT? Well, my faculty is working on one actively, but at the current moment, I don't know if they're like taking in people. Maybe by the time I'm in third or fourth year, I'm entering my third year, so they will start taking people. But I do know they are working on it. So by the time y'all are here, definitely, I think there will be some massive progress. So yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
y'all want
there
to say
was
anything?
quite a few questions on an AICT scholarship.
Yes. Do you know about it? Do you want to address that?
Not as well. As far as I know the bits and parts of it. I just know that you need you need to have an income band less than 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs per annum, like the breadwinner of the family,
yeah, like the
and
gross annual income of both parents in the family should be equal to less than 8 LPA. And actually, I think the admin would have better info, so you can actually email the
Exactly.
admin.
Yeah.
From
exactly.
what I remember of how the AICT scholarship thing was done, you have a separate ranking list for this. So, like whoever satisfies this eligibility criteria, you can apply for the scholarship, and then based on I think MET marks and stuff, you are given a separate rank list, and that actually determines the scholarship or like whatever stuff you get.
Yeah.
So definitely check out the Manipal website
Yeah,
or ask admin for more.
yeah, definitely
Coming to
ask
Correct.
Manipal,
admin
yeah.
proactively
I guess
because
coming to
that's
Manipal
great.
sponsorships, scholarships, I guess there's two bands. One is the below 100 and one is below 1000 ranks. I
Hmm.
guess below 100 gets around 50% discount, and then below 1000
100%.
gets a 20% discount. And if you have a CGPA of 8.5 and above after your first year, you get to continue the scholarship of a 20% every year. And then after that, if you're the branch topper or if you're in the top 3 or 2 of the branch, again you get an 20% discount on your tuition fee. You will
Yeah.
be mailed all this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you will be mailed all this, or just directly contact admin. You will find their email address in manipal.edu, the official website of MIT Manipal. So do that. Do not take our advice directly. Just do that
Yeah.
first, and then you can refer to anything we said. But yeah,
Also, the scholarship is only for the top 5%. Both AICT and the Achiever, both are only for the top 5% of the batch. So, if even if your income is less than 8 lakh, it isn't like awarded to everyone. You have to be in the top 5% of the batch to get the scholarship
yep.
from your MIT
Okay,
rank.
yeah. Okay, there was a question about difference between CC, CSE, IT, and AIML. So
Okay.
Nihal, want to take that up?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so that
This is like the conventional Nihal question, you know.
I know. So, uh, to preface this, in India, unfortunately, all of these branches are treated the same, which is kind of sad. But if you want, if to look at this from an academic perspective, like leaving aside what companies think of it, um, think of computer science as, let's say you want to build an operating system and you need to understand the fundamental algorithms that go into simple things like, how does my USB get detected, or how does my, how does Windows know to support like two different applications at the same time, stuff like that, simple things, but the core operating bit that makes operating systems what it is. So that is what CS, computer science, deals with. So if you look at look at, actually it's better if you look at America, how the American education system treats these subjects, because that is a more, I would say, authentic description. So computer science, basically whatever I talked about, core algorithms, processes, stuff like that. Information technology is treated more as a, it's supposed to be a more business e topic, because you don't deal with the creation of computer systems but rather the management of said computer system. So if you have certain computers already in a certain infrastructure, your deal is essentially the more high level architecture bit, where let's say I have a Windows computer, I have Linux computer, and I have this server. So how do I manage these things within my whole company or organization? So which is why IT is treated as a business school degree in the American system, but over here it's treated as engineering. In CCE, the core focus is networking, in the sense that, stuff like making my computer connect to the Wi-Fi, or things like that, LAN, we talk about ping being low, but that stuff is all CCE related stuff. So if I were to take a computer, the creation of the operating system on a computer would be CS. The networking of said computer with other computers, or connecting to the internet or stuff like that, is CCE. And management of said computer with other computers as part of a whole, you could say, organization or business requirement, would be IT. At least that's a traditional, sorry, that's the traditional outlook on it. However, with the Indian context, most of these branches tend to have the same curriculum, because of what I mentioned earlier, being the companies don't really care about what branch you're from. But if you have an intention to go for a master's degree later, maybe choosing a certain branch over the other might help, because even though the companies don't look at it that much, the curriculum is different. Like for example, CCE doesn't learn certain topics, like I think I forget the name, but like algorithms and something something is something that CS and IT learn, but CC don't, because it's not necessary from a CC context. But then that hurts them a little during placements, because they don't learn that. But definitely look at the curriculum and make your decision as to what particular thing you want. If you just want a job in India, take whatever you want, honestly, because everyone grinds lead code and the same entrance tests and everything, so it doesn't matter. But if you're looking to get more into actual academic study of what these disciplines are, then definitely look at the curriculum. What is the
Yeah.
other one? IT, CC, CSE, and
AML, yeah.
oh, AIML. AIML is, I would say, I don't know why it's considered in the computer science field, but I guess you could consider it. Uh, it would be more a subset of computer science, specifically not computer engineering, which is probably what we do in India. Like, we do computer engineering. Computer science is basically, a separate field in and of itself, where you deal with the whole, neural networks and all that stuff. So however, yes, it does help if you have a background in computer engineering. Like, if you know how to program and create software for it, then you know how to program a said neural network model, which is actually mostly math. So there is a high bit of overlap over there. With respect to the curriculum in Manipal, they have stuff like big data and stuff as well in the curriculum, if I remember correctly. So,
Yeah,
oh
you all
yeah, there's
can check
also
out the curriculum
mm,
on the website also. Just
yeah,
do that before you take a conscious decision because
yes,
that'll be very helpful before you
yeah. And
go ahead with
on that note, this brings up the topic of specializations versus general courses.
it. Hmm.
The thumb rule is only take a specialization if you have a game plan of what you want to do with said specialization. Do not take it just because it is there in the CS branch, because some companies are very picky on branches. Like, they won't take DSE or they won't take AIML, but some companies will prefer only AIML or only DSE. So from a job perspective, maybe there could be some 50-50 pushback, because you won't learn stuff that other branches might learn, but you're still considered in the same bucket, so you might be disadvantaged. But again, it's basically the same issue that even Mechatronics, CPS, all these other branches face. Because we are kind of niche, we aren't in the general engineering context, so we have to kind of forge our own path. But if you do have a plan of what you want to do, you will be much more equipped to deal with said niche as opposed to another guy. So, like a IT guy getting into AIML versus an AIML guy getting to AIML. So you can see the difference. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, okay, cool. We'll just address this next question because I've gotten it in the chat as well quite a bit. What are travel abroad opportunities available for students? I've heard of organizations like ISEC. Do we have things in MIT? Yes, we have ISEC and ISA, which primarily deal with this stuff, which is study abroad or volunteering abroad opportunities. So if you all want to travel abroad and study or do any internship abroad, I think this is the best bet for you because they provide all the support that you need. In fact, I myself am going for a global volunteering opportunity to Vietnam for a very prestigious course myself. So yeah, I think that's something that everyone who wants to do it should actively take up. Also, they're very good at marketing, so you will definitely see them all across
Yeah.
places. So you will hear about them. They're one of the top tier clubs when it comes to this studying abroad and stuff. So yeah, you can definitely check out ISEC and IST once you come into campus. And also there are local committees and local chapters. So if you want to join them and be part of initiating these exchanges, global exchanges, then you would want to join their teams as well. So we have ISEC and MAHE, stuff like that you can join. But yeah, our professors chill. Yeah,
It depends on how you talk to the professor, honestly.
yeah, true,
Because
true.
I have had okay experiences and great experiences with the same professor, that too, not just like different professors. Okay, since the topic came up, there people say X faculty is bad or X faculty is good. Honestly, it is up to the person, because, like, I think Watson mentioned previously, like, the professors have their own, they're very well learned, they have that stuff. Like, they've done, so imagine you've invested like more than 12 years, 8 to 12 years of your life doing a PhD, getting to research and all that, and you have kids treating them like, the school teacher, which isn't a very good, interaction to have. So obviously the faculty is like, why is this guy treating me like this? And this is not an ego issue, this is a more self respect issue. Because if you treat them like an equal, and you appreciate the effort and time they've invested into coming here, then not only will they treat you with the same respect, but they will go out of their way to give you opportunities. Like, most of the most fulfilling experiences I've had in the mechatronics department were because I maintained good equal professional relations with my faculty. Like, a lot of the things that I had access to right now, faculty development programs, foreign research, internship opportunities, I got them through my faculty. Like, they reached out to me saying, there's this thing that we have, would you like to join? And I would not, like, even other people in my batch did not get this. So it just goes to show that if you are chill with the faculty will be chill with you. That is like the easiest thumb rule I can talk about here. You may have the occasional bad run in with the faculty, but honestly, maybe everyone has their own bad day, so don't put it against them. Just keep this in mind, that treat them, they may be a different person in the classroom and a different person outside the classroom. Like, they may have to cultivate a set persona just to keep the class in check, but outside the classroom, as researchers, as professors, as people, they can be very nice, if not like completely different from what their teacher persona is. So yeah,
I also
definitely
wanted to
chill.
bring, yeah, definitely. And I also wanted to bring to notice the whole teacher guardian system that we have in MIT. So, any of you want to touch up on that, because I realize that's something that people might want to know.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just take up that question. So, a teacher guardian system is somewhere like, let's say there's a class in your first year, they'll call you teacher guardians and then they become your mentors. So, in your first year, so there's a set of students that are they mix groups of students and they are assigned to a teacher who checks up on you, who sees if everything is going right yeah, with you and everything. And let's say if you have any difficulties, you can straight up contact them, ask them if anything is needed. They will solve whatever is needed. The main thing about teachers in MIT is that they're always there for you. However busy their schedule is, if you need something, they will take out time for you. That is something I've actually seen and I've actually experienced, because there was a time where I could not submit my assignment because I was not well. So my professor, after working hours, actually did actually meet me somewhere in between to my hostel, and then I did submit it to him in hand. There are actually places where professors actually gave me a ride on their bike or car and drop me to places. So having a good relationship is one thing, having a friendly relationship is another thing. So a professional and a friendly relationship are two different things. You need to have something of a balance between those two, so that will actually cherish your knowledge, cherish between you both, and then mainly they will remember you as one student after you're graduated also. And after you graduate, if you need something, you can always hit them up and then they'll obviously be there for you to help you out.
One of the faculty gifted me a shirt while I was graduating.
Oh, that's nice.
Professor Jean.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so I think you got the answer. Just be nice and you will see the results on your own.
Yeah,
Teachers are amazing here, professors are amazing here. So,
they're really good.
yeah.
Because right now I do work under a professor for a research project that is totally new. It's a based on digital twin systems. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's a very new topic. The faculty just texted me saying, hey, there's this opening in my research, would you like to join? So if you have good relations, you get these things. Like, he does share, they do share it with other people also, but you kind of get that early access system if you know them better. Because obviously they would choose a random person, then obviously they would choose you over a random person they don't know, because they know you, they know they have a good rapport with you, and they also know how you work, your skills. So yeah, that is one big thing I would say with professors.
That brings me to my next point, which is about class representatives. Because if you are a CR, then you have automatic reach to your professor and all of that that he just mentioned. So, yeah, I mean, if you all want to apply for a class representative position in the initial, like, first few weeks, your professor will at some point come and tell you that we'll have elections. So if you are someone who feels like you can coordinate between your class and your professors, then go for it. You can pitch your campaign to your entire class. I think for first year, obviously, there is no criterion to become a CR. For second year onwards, there is at least 7 CGPA. But yeah, you should all, if you are interested, you can definitely take up CR-ship. There are pros and cons to it, and I think they can explain that to you as well. But yeah, in short, if you want Nihal, you can just tell the pros and
Yeah.
cons as well.
I applied for the CR position as a joke, and I won by a landslide the first day. So the main concept of a CR is you are the one point of contact for the class to interact with the rest of the college, and for the rest of the college to interact with the class. So I don't know how the system is right now, but back in my day, we used to have. I'm using the back in my day expression now. So during my time, we used to have a common group with the CRs and the student council, and they
It's
used to
still there.
send. Oh, it's still there. Okay, cool. So they used to send the circulars, and then we used to disseminate those to our classrooms. The faculty used to send PowerPoint presentations and notes to me. I would send it out to my classroom. So in my case, I had made a Google Classroom and then I posted everything there so that people can access. People have their own system. But essentially, this, I mean, from a personal development standpoint, this gives you a good leadership development opportunity. You get to learn how to coordinate, how to lead a classroom, let's say mitigate any disputes that occur between classmates as well. So at least the way I had positioned myself was, if there's anything that you want within the classroom that is within the domain of the classroom, talk to me. So that way, if it was moderating disagreements, or the classmates wanting to, let's say, skip a class or have an extra class for something, so they would communicate those concerns to me, and I would then relay those to the faculty, the appropriate faculty, or even say the student council if there's a larger administrative issue that needed to be brought to the public eye. And during the year, you also have class committee meetings where all the CRs meet in a room with the student council, and then they have some back and forth discussion on topics that need to be discussed. So most of the time, the more, I would say, overt CRs would bring up a lot of issues that covered a lot of the concerns that other class representatives also had. I think in 1 year we had this issue of um, we had this recurrent issue of people not sorry faculty not communicating PowerPoint templates in time, or not having a good place for us to store those notes or something, because everyone had their own little system, which I think led to the creation of the learning management system that I think you guys have now. So you can see how over time the concerns that we bring to the table help in the college enacting those changes. So it's a definitely good thing. Con is you are the one point of contact, so you will be annoyed to no end by the same questions every single time. So in my case, I just, like, it used to be a recurring meme in my class that any time someone used to ask a question, I would just say, go check the classroom, like the Google Classroom. Anything that I would post, even answers to FAQs and stuff, I posted over there itself. So, like, don't bother asking the same question in my DMs, just check the classroom. If it's not there,
Yep.
then ask me.
Yep.
So that's a bit annoying. And then if you have to have some uncomfortable conversations with the
Yeah.
faculty, saying, this person couldn't attend the assignment, could you please do something, because, like, this person might not have as much sway with the faculty as you as a CR, so you have to kind
Yeah.
of navigate that.
Yeah. Okay, time is sort of running out, so we'll start addressing the chat questions as well. So I think the common question in the chat is, why did you guys not pick up the Bangalore campus or pick the Bangalore campus? So we'll give our own perspectives, personal opinions. So do not go by it as a facts. But yeah, start off with it, Aditya.
So my main reason to be in Manipal was, first of all, mechatronics. So mechatronics was my passion, so that's why I mainly chose Manipal. But the thing about Bangalore campus for me was that it just had started that specific year that I was joining in MIT. So I did not have any previous background. Like, it was like 1 year old, or max to max 2 years old, as far as I remember, when we were joining MIT. So I did not know what all was going on in Bangalore campus, or I didn't have enough info. But if you see a point of time as of now, there is good enough info. There's like 3 batches already, but no pass out batches. But knowing MIT's reputations, I'm pretty sure the placements are going to be good. But looking at the curriculum and everything, it's pretty good. It's around 80%, 70 to 80%, I would say, aligned to what MIT Manipal is doing itself. There are obviously things being done different in the Bangalore campus since it's new. They're all under construction and everything. But over and all, the thing is, MIT Bangalore is also a pretty decent campus. Let's say you're looking for a CSE branch, but you're not getting in MIT, but you're getting it in MIT Bangalore. If you want to take the risk, you can actually go forward for it. I am pretty sure it's going to be a positive response because MIT Bangalore is pretty good.
Yeah, I think that sums this answer up for most of us because MIT Bangalore came for the first year when we joined, and for Vatsal, it's been 2 years. So, yeah, if you all want to add anything, you can hit us up. We will also answer questions in the chat. I think Vatsal, Nihal, and myself are doing it already. So, to wrap things up a little quickly, we'll just do that as well. All right. So, what are some other questions? How hard is it to maintain 9 plus CGPA? I think it's primarily based on the kind of efforts you put purely into your academics. I think you all echo the same as well because it requires efforts, especially in your, if you're in a branch that's already competitive like CSE or something like that, it requires constant efforts. But I know of people who do it, who are just smart naturally and who do it. So, yeah, I don't think there's much to say regarding that.
So I would say, okay, huh. So when it comes to marks and stuff in general, look at it on a per subject basis. People, like, you'll see this conversation appear a lot during the midterms, or like the sessionals. The midterms, I think, is what it's called now. I have XYZ out of 90. How much? What is the CGPA that I can get? It doesn't work that way. You can have, full marks in the midterm of one subject and absolutely bomb the other subject. So look at it on a per subject basis. The core
Basically, work
baseline is 8.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
core baseline is 8 till 8.5 is manageable. After that is where the real grind starts. Now,
Yeah.
whether you're able to sustain that is up to you.
Yep. So, like, your 4 credit subjects have maximum credit at least until second year. So, you can try to focus more on that to maximize your output. But yeah,
Also try to get more in internal marks. So like if you have very good internals, like above 40, I can say, so there's a very high chance that you can make up to that 8.8 to 9 mark. But if you have low internals like 30, 35, then 9 is practically not possible. So internals play a big role here.
yep. We'll go to hostels now. Also, Aditya had to leave, so he's left. He has an internship, but we'll continue it and we'll end it maybe in the next half an hour or so. Uh, so yeah, your best universal best hostel in each category. Example: single AC, double AC, etc. So I think Vatsal, you can take over
Yes.
with the
So I'll give an overview of all the hostels. So as for non-AC, for boys there are two options: Block 5 and Block 6. Block 5 and Block 6 don't have attached washrooms. All the washrooms are common. They have double sharing and triple sharing rooms. And so for common washrooms there are two blocks: Block 5 and Block 6. And for AC are only in like Block 15, 14, 16, and 17, and 1920. But this year, I guess only 16 and 17 will be allotted to juniors. So 16 and 17 have double AC, double non-AC, single AC, and single non-AC. And all of these rooms in block 16 and 17 are attached with washrooms. And as for the universal best hostel in each category, if you can go for common washroom, then it's block 5 or block 6, both are the same. If you want to go for double AC, it's block 16 and 17 are the same. You can take like the upper floor rooms of any of these hostels, like above, I guess 10th floor and 11th floor are AC rooms. Maybe they increased it this year, but till last year it was 10th and 11th floors, and ground and first floor. So if you want a better room, I would say 10th and 11th floors of block 16 and 17. And for single AC, you can take any room and in like 16 and 17, all are the same. If you want a better view of the valley, then you can take the higher rooms. and I have some images that you can refer to. One second. So yeah, this is the fees. These all hostels have the, like, these are the type of accommodation: single attached, double attached, AC. So this is excluding the mess fees. Mess fees is around 50 to 60K on top of this. So yes, you can take a screenshot or whatever from this.
Yeah,
And
you all can take a
as for,
screenshot.
yes, for hostel rooms, this is a like standard double attached AC room in block 16 and 17. Uh, Both of you get like one pair of Almira. The attached washroom is there, and AC or non-AC, that depends on your choice.
Yeah.
And
I'll quickly cover the girls' hostels as well because that wasn't covered. You can show the FC food court ones, FC1
yes,
and FC2.
one second.
Yeah. So I'll just cover the girls' hostels quickly. So we have the blocks 21, 22, block 1, 2, and sometimes block 3 and 4 as well. So block 1 and 2, I think, are common washroom. And then you have block 22, which is all double AC. You have block 21, which is apartment style shared. So you have like a common space for two people. It's like an apartment space, and you have like a small area, like a basin type of thing where you can wash clothes or cook or whatever. So a lot of people choose that as well. That's block 21. And then you also have block 11 and 12 where you have double AC and double non-AC options. So as far as I know, these are the entrant options for people who want to take up hostels in first year. And yeah, also as much as we know, I think it is for people who are not living in Manipal, like who are not localites, you have to pick a hostel. But unless you have like accommodation already with your relatives or you live in Manipal or Udupi, then you're not enforced to do so. When it comes to mess, again, yeah, we'll go to this slideshow. This is
Yeah,
food court one.
this one
Go
is
ahead.
food court 1. This is near the girls' hostel, and block 5 and 6 for boys' hostels.
Yeah.
And then this is food court 2. This is nearer to block 16 and 17 for boys, and 19 and 20. So mainly most of the boys take this mess because most of the population resides in block 16 and 17. So yes, this is the most popular, and the food is also good in FC2. And uh, this
Yeah.
is the menu. Like, it varies a bit, but mostly it's like this only. Like,
Yeah.
this thing can go to Friday or Friday can go to Monday, but the menu more or less remains the same. And then there's like month end special lunch, and if there's a festival, then there's special lunch or dinner. So yes.
Yeah, so the same thing for girls' hostels as well. We have hostels specific to girls like Ashraya Mess and Ananya Mess. So for those of you who want to go for that, you can. And there's also other messes that are girls and boys like Adithya Mess, and they have separate food. And there's also in-campus facilities for ordering food. So you'd want to download an app called Change Pay or maybe like Dot Food. So these are apps that you want to keep handy if you want to order food into your house or your room. But yeah, we'll share the drive link on the comment section after this WhatsApp. That works.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did in
we'll
the
do
chat
that.
itself.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, it's there, so you can check it out. But yeah, that's all when it comes to hostels. Let's cover other sort of questions now. Anything you all want to cover that you feel like might be very important? Okay, attendance is one thing. Yeah, sorry. Attendance, somebody asked if 75% attendance. Yeah, so 75% attendance you have to get for anything. And in case you are sick and you have a proper legible medical certificate, you have an allowance up to 65%. But again, you don't want to bank on it. Just ideally be in the top 25% of loss for attendance. And that would help you much smoother process for you because you don't have to go around academic section or admin like crazy. So try to keep it up, but if not, then you must have like a medical certificate or a valid reason that you have to show to the academic section, based on which they'll give you the allowance up to 65%. But yeah. Yeah, all right. Any questions you feel like might be important to address now?
Mm,
Yeah, I did want to say one thing. A lot of questions are about, is this branch better than this, or is that branch better than this? We had that last time as well. I think very it is only fitting to say, go through the course curriculum, ask your seniors in that specific subject. So we try to help with respect to our subjects as much as we could. So CPS, MECX, and VLSI we help, but try to reach out, and we're also on the common groups or Reddit or whatever it is. Just talk to people that are in the subject that you're wanting to pursue or contemplating, and try to understand why that course is good or why it is bad, or merits, demerits, and stuff. And go through the course plan on your own, because that's the best way you can do it. We will only best be able to give you suggestions. So that is something that I wanted to highlight. For a lot of questions which were about your rank, and with this rank will I get that, that rank will I get this. During my batch, we had 6 counseling rounds. Vatsal, how many did you have?
6.
I
We
think so, yeah,
had
6, yeah.
from last year onwards. There will be only be three counseling rounds, and then there will be
Yeah.
interest rate round.
Acha. So I think you might also have 3 counseling rounds and one
Yes,
intra.
they also have three
Yeah.
rounds.
So if that's the case, then I don't know how much you can slide your rank or change your rank up to, but it just goes to say, just be ready for all sorts of consequences. No one is saying MIT is the best as well. I think you should keep your options open, but as MIT students and alumni, we do want to share our experience with you all, and that's why we did this in the first place. So yeah, when it comes to newer branches as well, do your research, because I entered to an entirely new branch and I made sure that my research was proper, and that's why I'm not disappointed with what I'm getting right now. So for new branch people, you might want to do that. I don't think this year there's any new branch, but still, even like CS FinTech or even MNC or VLSI, like he mentioned, go for it with basic research in hand. And one more thing is, somebody asked a question about CS course curriculum, if it's updated or outdated. Let me tell you that all across different colleges, you have almost the same level of course. So even like Bangalore, you see different colleges. I'm from Bangalore, so I know that the course is pretty much similar in most places. So about that, there is that. And when it comes to professors, most are really good, like I mentioned for EC as well. Even for those, I mean, everyone is very knowledgeable in their subject. You just have to take the extra effort on your own, and in many cases as well, go approach them and get your doubts and everything else clear. But yeah, I still see so much spamming about, should I choose this, should I choose that. Guys, please stop asking that, because trust me, we can only help you till a bit. When it comes to placements as well, you just want to ask your seniors in that particular subject. But yeah, you all can go ahead now.
Sorry, I was away for a bit. What was the question?
No, there was no question. I was just addressing the fact that a lot of people are asking about what to choose over the other
Oh,
thing.
that, huh?
Huh.
So just choose what you like, dude. Like, that doesn't.
Yeah, genuinely.
Who? Why? What does someone getting 50 LPA change for you? Are you going to get that 50 LPA?
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
so there's that, the placement thing. Like I mentioned before, do not choose a branch based on current placement start, because that can change, as we've seen many times before. Two, do not choose a branch because your friends are taking that branch. Peer pressure can be very weird and may force you to go with the flow. Do not. Three, please do your due diligence on the branch that you are choosing, because if not, you will end up taking a branch for hype or for reasons that you did not research, and then you will feel disillusioned by the branch that you're studying, which will lead you to have a bad perception of the branch as a whole, so on and so forth, vicious cycle. And
Yep.
that brings to, I mean, unless there are other things I could actually talk about. Okay, now let's say that you're applying to college right now. What do you have to do in these 4 years? So I could talk about that. Now, let's say you pick a branch, let's say any branch. I'll take mechatronics for example. In the first year, your main aim should be, so I call the first year the exploration year. Explore student projects, explore student clubs, talk to other people, know about their backgrounds, stuff like that. So for me, I am a first generation engineering student because like no one in my family is into engineering as such. And so it was very interesting talking to legacy engineers, like those who have been in the engineering field, like family background wise. And so the perspectives that they had a very clear idea of what they wanted to do, or like what companies they wanted to do, what fields they wanted to get into, which I did not have any idea about. So getting to know that from them was a very interesting experience. So exploration. Year two, the second year, is what I would like to call funneling, in the sense that now that you've done all this exploration, you should now start cutting down your options, or rather solidifying your interests with respect to what is it that you actually want to do for the rest of your for the rest of your college journey. So for me, by the end of the second year, I was good. I'd say confident enough that I want to get into robotics and education, one of those two. So that was what I had in mind when going into my third year, which is what I like to call the grinding year essentially. So now that you fixated your interests, grind your way through. There's industry certifications that you have to take those. If there are personal projects that you need to take those. Internships that you want to apply to, do those. Basic third year is your, I would say, make it or break it kind of year with respect to the interest that you have solidified. Fourth year is where you tie up loose ends, set yourself up for the next chapter in your life, whether that is a job, let's say a master's degree. So maybe you want to work for a bit and then go, or stuff like that. Like get that your next maybe 5 year plan or something thought about, like what goals you want to achieve. Uh, but yeah, essentially, these 4 years that you have are very important because we I mean, at least within the Indian context, a lot of the stuff that we do in these 4 years essentially define not only who we are as people, but also what we may do for the rest of our lives. So definitely think about it. There is no shame in not taking CS. Like I chose mechatronics over CS in other colleges. Like I wasn't getting CS in Manipal, but I was getting CS in other pretty good state colleges. I won't name them, but I did get CS. But I chose mechatronics specifically because of my inherent love and interest for robotics. Even though I was not skilled in robotics before, let me make that clear. I did not know anything. I only knew that I wanted to do robotics. I still joined it, and I am doing pretty well for myself, if I may say so. So keep your priorities clear, do your due diligence, and have a plan. That is all that I would like to say. Yeah.
Yep. We'll address this again because this is common question. You all can address it.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Time management again. Okay. Computer related fields. There are companies that cover all branches. Definitely.
Yeah.
Not a law. I don't know what the percentage is between computer
But there are,
only. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. There are though. You'll get
But
time. Don't
if
worry. Time
you
management.
Yeah, time
time
management.
management is there,
Well,
but if you're really interested in a CS related job, then I won't suggest take mech or civil because
Hmm.
most of the companies don't recruit for mech and civil.
Yeah.
yeah, but I know people who have gotten pure mech placements really good and Boeing and stuff stuff like that. So if you're good at your subject, you can go for that pure mech, pure core subject thing, like like Nihal said. So yeah, it depends again on your interests. That's the core of it. But yeah, I think we'll come towards the end of this podcast episode. My bad. Video. But yeah, okay. I think a lot of questions have. Most of the questions have been covered. If there are any questions that we have not covered, it's only because it's too technical or stuff that you might have to contact admin for, or stuff that we believe we can't give you the best advice on, and it's stuff you would prefer to do on your own. So if there is something like that we have missed out on, sure we have. Other things, Manipal is so chill. It's a very nice place. Research scene in Manipal, Ritvik, we've already addressed that. If you want to talk about it more, please, write a comment in the comment section and we'll talk about that. Right? Is the hostel fee refundable? Somebody's asking.
Uh,
I guess it is refundable if you leave the college within a particular time frame, like within a month or something. If you leave,
Yeah.
the tuition fee they refund the second semester at least they refund it, but I'm not so
Yeah.
sure about the hostel fee.
Yeah. You might want to check on this with the admin, right? Because there are a few things that change every semester. So you have to be clear. with the admin only. Um, yeah, apart from that, Manipal is a very nice place. There are a lot of places to visit around campus. We speak about the weather and all, but there's also very pleasant weather sometimes. The beach is like 30 minutes away, dude. Like, just hop on a bike ride and go to the beach if you want. Of course, keep your safety in mind. There are a lot of fun stuff to do inside campus, outside campus. Enjoy your time here because you won't get this type of place, I feel, ever again. So, yeah, with Vatsal and Nihal can add on.
Right. So, I mean, I actually didn't involve myself much in Manipal ka scene itna because I was a typical, like most of my day was either college, workshop, or lab and home. But yes, definitely, I still have a lot of attachment to Manipal, as clearly as you can see here. And I really like I really liked being there. I really liked talking to the people, like the locals there, people on campus, because so the thing about Manipal that I can say in hindsight is that uh, because you have people from all walks of life, backgrounds and stuff, you get a more, I would say, rounded perspective of the
Holistic.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, a more holistic view, as opposed to just, let's say you go to your own state college, or you
Yeah.
go to a place that where people from your own locality basically come. It may be good, but then you won't really grow as a person because you literally don't interact with other communities.
Yeah.
So that may hinder you with respect to, like, maybe,
Growth.
opinions or biases or things like that. So yeah, but
Yeah.
aside from that, nothing else that comes to mind aside from, please have a plan. I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, but it is saddening to see the number of people that just come SAE and then they just go SAE, and God knows what they're doing in life now. Like, it's pretty sad. So yeah.
Yeah, Vatsal?
Someone asked about
Dating
how
culture?
to find the correct, no, not
Oh,
how to find the
Why is
correct
that?
peer group in Manipal. So as for the peer group, like it forms automatically. You'll come for document submission, then you'll be here for 1 week or 1.5 week. You'll make a lot of friends. They'll get filtered out with time. Then your classes will start. You'll make friends in other branches, and if you want to like meet like-minded people, join the clubs that you're interested in or student projects. That way, by the end of first year, you'll have a network, a peer group, like a good peer group, and it keeps on increasing. Like after first year, from second year onwards, you have your brand specific classes. So like it
no, your
keeps on.
peer group decreases.
Eventually, eventually you'll find your like 3% peer group also.
Fair.
Yeah.
Aditya?
Right.
So Aditya is back. We were just discussing about a few things Manipal oriented.
Okay.
You can, yeah. Anything that you want to add on to everything? Manipal experience, what makes it unique?
I mean, it's been really wild, I guess. Because before coming to Manipal, I had like three friends, and now there's quite a few people that know me around campus. So I actually feel happy that I did network a lot. It's been helping me out great. It's a really fun experience. Manipal is a really fun experience. It was something really new to me, mainly because I was honestly living with my parents my entire life, just sitting in my room, and COVID hit, so I became even more of an introvert. So I came up to Manipal, opened. I was lucky to have amazing friends. uh, I have a lot of fun with them. We study together and everything. So Manipal is a very, very different thing. You can't describe Manipal, to be honest. You have to come in, experience, and then understand. That's what I would say.
Yep. I'll also answer this. So Manipal is, I think, everything that I've all mentioned. And moreover, I think the fact that it's a student town is just so amazing. You get to see so many different things here as compared to any other place. Somebody asked about dating culture. It's there. It's very evident. It's a student town. So that is, it's something that's a part of it. One thing that I would say is that, as someone who has been a student in MIT, I've not just you know interacted with people in MIT, but in Mahe as a whole. So I have friends in architecture, I have friends in life sciences like MBBS. I have friends in what do you say, MCHP, which is health practitioners. I got to know about degrees that I didn't know existed. And there's so much to learn in that, because you get to know that, oh my God, I am focusing only on this. There is a whole other world, and these people are actively working on it, and you get to interact with them because of the nature of Mahe clubs. So I would say, for people, who want that overall interactive experience of the university life, not just engineering, definitely go for Mahe oriented clubs as well, because that really really helped me in my networking also, like Aditya mentioned. And yeah, I think throughout my years here so far, I've grown a lot, and there's a lot of changes in me. And yeah, there's it's all good takeaways. I would just say that when you're in Manipal, just make the best of your network, and you'll have not such a big network, I feel, for a very very long time, or not such a big pool of people to talk to and interact with for a very very long time in your life. But yeah, what are some unspoken rules in MIT? Okay, that's a nice thing, we'll address that. I don't know what to say, but do you all have anything?
Don't look at the top floor of the student plaza at in the evenings.
Oh yeah, fair. Don't take your parents. Wait, don't take your parents
Yes, don't
to
take your parents to
Don't
the
take your
during
evenings.
parents.
orientation. Yeah, don't take them
Uh,
out street during
Definitely.
orientation in the night. Yeah.
the temples in MIT, you can see a lot other than God also in MIT near the temple.
Outside the temples, yeah.
Outside.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we have an on like we have a temple. We on campus. We have a church nearby. We have like everything. We have a gurudwara also nearby. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's very nice that way for people who
Again,
want to.
like people, we are actually somewhere deserted, like somewhere on a highway of some place, but you probably won't feel Manipal is that place that is left
Yeah,
out, because the
it's
Mahe, the whole institution of Mahe has their campuses around. So again,
yeah,
as Tarini said, you have friends from all over the place. You have from MCHP, like there's degrees even I didn't even know actually existed, that I actually came to
yeah,
Manipal and found out, and they're actually pretty interesting.
yeah,
And if you actually take, you can actually do interdisciplinary research also.
yeah.
Like there are
Definitely.
people in KMC that actually want to do research with engineers because they
MIT.
only
Yeah,
know the medical standpoint, but we're here who can actually develop that whole thing into an engineering perspective and give them a product out.
yeah,
So there's again a lot of
yeah.
things. There's
There's a lot of
way.
collaboration between colleges and all. Like I've gone to hackathons with people from KMC, and I've done months with MCHP people. So that's the best part, I would say, for me. So that's something nice. How frequently it rains there? Vatsal gave a wonderful answer. You can see that. You want to read it,
Once
Vatsal?
summer starts, then like it gets very humid after January, February, March, April, May. These months, you'll like
Yeah,
you should have AC room. I would
yeah,
suggest if you can get it, please get an AC room.
yep.
The way
And
I like to describe it. Oh yeah, go on, finish, finish.
it's
My
different
God.
from the like climate in north. We have hot climate in north, but not humid. Hot plus
Mm,
humid is a way worse combination than just
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
Like
true.
in
The
short,
way.
Manipal just
Oh,
has
sorry.
like
Yeah,
two climates. It's either raining or it's either sunny. Sunny as
Yeah,
hell.
agreed.
It's only the two. There's no in between.
Yeah. You have that small period of time when it's raining, you get a breeze, and then that reminds you of like Bangalore or something, and then you come back to normality. So you have small slivers of time. Go out in that time.
so you have
Yeah,
summer director's cut, and you have summer monsoon
Yeah,
VLC,
correct.
basically.
exactly. Correct.
Uh, this question we'll address. Do you have to pay extra for swimming gym? Yes, you have to. And we have a place called Marina. So go to Google right now and search up
Yes.
Marena if you're a sports enthusiast. You will love it.
Yep.
Okay, we will end it with that. I think. Do you all want to address anything else, or we shall wrap it up in the next 2 minutes?
All
I
the
would
Oh,
best,
say
guys. Hope we
please.
see you in
where
camp.
if these guys have more questions, where do they contact us?
Okay, yeah. So if you all have more questions, you can just start putting them in the comment section, which will become live after this video live stream ends. And if not, also, I think we have a WhatsApp group. I'll put a link
Oh
in
I'll
yeah,
the
yeah.
share
comment
the link
I
section.
WhatsApp,
guess
yeah.
we can
So you can
roll
do
out
either.
another form. I guess we can roll out another form and have an AMA session later on in the
Yeah, for
upcoming
sure.
weeks also.
For sure. We can do that as well. So I'll look into that depending on the kind of demand that's there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, also you can put it in the comments, and hopefully you all will be there to respond. Last time you all did so, Nihal did so. If you all
Yeah.
want to, you can surely and partake in that. But apart from that, yeah, I think we've addressed most things. Yeah, all the questions have been addressed, and if they have not, then it's again I mentioned the reason before. So yeah, feel free to hit us all up for any queries, and also you can feel free to follow us all on our socials linked below. That's all. I think we will end the podcast with this. We'll end the episode with this. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, Nihal, Vatsal,
Okay.
and Sai Adithya for taking your time. It was nice to have you, Nihal, for a second time, Vatsal
Yeah.
and Sai for the first time. So
I'll probably
hopefully
be a
another time.
permanent fixture, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Featuring
Nihal
Nihal.
Safety,
Yeah,
Nihal
actually.
Safety in Manipal podcast again.
Yeah.
No, literally, if there is a new group, new year group, you
Yeah.
know Nihal
Either
will be
Nihal
I'll
there.
will
be
be
or I'll be among the first members in there.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, we're all very happy to help you all because we've been doing this for the past 2 years. I've done it last year, now again. This time, nice addition to have Vatsal and Sai as well. So yeah, super
And
excited to
please reach out to
welcome you
seniors when you're
all.
in
Yeah,
campus.
reach out to
Yeah, I
seniors.
would
Yeah.
say that please
If
reach out
you
to seniors if you
ever,
don't know anything.
Yep.
if you have any
Absolutely.
doubts regarding SPs, if you see anyone with a T-shirt with an SP name on it,
Yeah.
talk to him. No one
Just go
will,
and
like,
talk to
everyone will
Yeah.
be
yeah, they'll be
Open.
happy.
Yeah.
Some people are
obliged
talking
to.
to us essentially.
Yes.
yeah. That's so true.
Facts.
But
Or
Facts on
anytime
facts.
you come to the SP area, go into any
Yeah.
workshop, talk to any senior. That's what I did.
yeah,
Yeah, you can do that exactly. Also, one more thing I just want to say: did you guys? I did. Sai, did you feel this violent shift from first year to second year? Like first year, so much enthusiasm. Second year, you
Yeah,
become like,
quite a lot.
yeah, no,
See, I
yeah,
was indulged in a lot of
yeah,
extracurricular activities in my first year also.
yeah,
But once second year is
yeah.
there, it hits you hard.
It
It
hits you
actually
really
hits you
hard.
hard.
Yeah,
And then you just are into a new class, new set of people, new teachers. You don't know
yeah,
what you're doing. Like when you first go into it, I'm pretty sure Vatsal's gonna
yeah. You
like
will face
think
it,
about
Vatsal.
all
Yes.
this in a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
months, but you'll eventually get through it, and
Yeah,
it's all for the
yeah.
best, I would say.
yeah.
It's
It's
a
for the
very, very
best for
rational
sure.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, on that note, we'll end the stream. Thank you so much, guys, once again for joining in. And yeah, you can feel free to follow us all. And sure, if you want to see more of this, do subscribe. I do podcasts with people as well. I have a podcast series called Not Your Cliche Conversations, where I talk to people who've succeeded in their ventures. And it's very helpful for people who are students, especially. So a lot of what I do is student help content. So you can check it out and let me know what you think. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, once again.
You. Bye bye.
Shall resign.
Bye.
Try to
Bye.
put the WhatsApp group link. I can't put it. It's not.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. Bye.
Okay. It will be in the comment section.